Yeah. Welcome our Mayor, Councillor Adrian Lawton, our Deputy Mayor, Councillor Charlie Smith, and our Chief Officer, Mrs. Sarah Hayden. Thank you. Can I call on Reverend Rain to say a prayer to start our meeting this evening, please?
Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
So great. So, Heavenly Father, I thank you for this town that we serve. I thank you for each of the councillors here this evening. I thank you for the voice that you give them in this community. I pray for all the decisions to be made and the discussions. I pray for your peace and wisdom and discernment. And just your blessing upon each of them and upon each of their families. Bless this meeting, I pray, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Before we sit down, ladies and gentlemen, let us please remember the late Sylvia Rushton, councillor, who's passed since we last met. May we have a minute's silence in her memory, please? Thank you. Thank you, everyone. May we be seated. Now for the disclaimer. This meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Biddulph Town Council YouTube page. The aim is that decision-making should be transparent and in the public domain, which will involve more of our community in local democracy. By being in this council chamber, you are consenting to being recorded and for your image to be added to YouTube. The images and sound may be used for training purposes. Any views expressed are the speaker's own and do not necessarily reflect the view of Biddulph Town Council. Please view the Guidance on Recording in Public Meetings policy if you need more information. And please note, please, attendees will be named in the minutes unless otherwise instructed. Now we start with the agenda item. Item number 44, public participation. And within that, tonight, we have the company of PCSO, Josh Hargreaves, to give his police report. Josh.
Good evening, everybody. So over the past 4 weeks, we've only had 23 ASB instances over the township of Biddulph. This is 9 less than the previous week before. So we are actually look at these numbers, releasing them. We are constantly targeting any problems that we are made aware of in the community. The nuisance bikes that we are still suffering with, should we say, we are still aware of. We are still working with the RPU unit to hopefully crack down on these bikes, hopefully get some results taken up. I know we've had some burglary attempts over the past couple of days, Brownlees, specifically in the township. We are constantly doing CCTV inquiries, constantly having patrols out in the area when we're on duty, and officers are currently investigating this.
Thank you. Questions? Are there any questions, please, for the officer? Yes, please, Councillor Wood.
Mr. Mayor, regarding Church Road playing fields, we've had another incident of, they just repaired all the damage that had been done to the rubber, the base, and it's been torn up again by vandalism. I mean, is there any chance we can get an enhanced presence round there? Because it's certainly, because it's becoming dark nights now as well. I know it's difficult, obviously, but we need to show that the police are on top of this in terms of just getting some visibility in the area, because
So,
it's costing us thousands of pounds at the district, and it's just we're not getting any use out of it.
yeah, so I can speak for myself and my colleagues, we can start throwing a bit more attention over there. We have been anyway with the bikes. Obviously, we can't be up there all the time, sadly, just due to demand in the area. The Church Road playing fields won't be there, then we have instances like Sainsbury's, for example. But yeah, I can make a piece of good aware and start getting a bit more of a presence there, more cars, more patrols, walking like this.
Thank you. Councillor Yates, please.
Yes, thank you and good evening, Josh, and very good to see you. Couple of things really going on for the previous months and just see if there's any updates. And one is the antisocial car meets up on Compton Road, Malcop, and the lay-bys to see if there's been any updates there and whether the prevalence is diminished or was ongoing. Obviously, a police presence is very welcome up there at any time in the evenings. And secondly, going into last month, we did have some spates of youths, for want of a better term, fully black in balaclavas, checking car doors and actually checking house gates and doors around the Hayden Park area and beyond. And I'm just wondering if there's any updates from those. We did request if it's possible to have some early hours patrols, because to me, anybody who's walking around in twos and threes completely black from head to foot with balaclavas on at that time in the morning is up to no good. So they should be quite relatively easy to spot, to be perfectly honest. I'm just wondering if there's been any update from any of those instances. Thank you.
So the first one, I haven't seen many jobs when I've been on duty, when I've checked the box, pull the box. That's the days when I've been on. I haven't seen any jobs orders up there, so I'm going to say it has reduced. What I can do, I can speak to my colleague who's in charge, like the middle side of the task force. Cheshire, Newcastle, all the way together about off road. But from what I'm aware of, you haven't had as many reports from the residents up in that area, which is hopefully a good sign that the antisocial behaviour of them driving their cars in an erratic way has reduced. Secondly, with the late night patrols, I can ask the sergeants to see if they can spare any officers, but I can't force them to do these patrols. But I can always speak to the sergeants, ask them if they can see if they can add to their tour duties, and hopefully we can see that number reduce of these youths who say is all black, clouds off up, and hopefully we'll see a reduce of them going around trying property doors and car vehicles.
Thank you. Councillor Jones, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, thank you, Josh, for coming. Nice to see you. I just want to publicly say thanks, but I haven't had a chance to do it here for the public meeting a bit more. That went down very well. I think everybody appreciated that. I just wanted to ask on with these electric bikes and to some extent motorbikes, with the balaclava, safety balaclavas that we seem to wear. Given that you can't chase them, you can't knock them off, what actively are you doing to stop them?
So we
Let me just finish. I think it was suggested in this chamber, it might be by Councillor Jackson. What about drones? Can we not get a drone up to when they're on the fields and follow them with a drone or something? It seems to me that might be a good idea. I just wondered what, without giving any operational issues,
yeah.
so what you are actually doing.
Combat the motor electric bikes, or say illegal electric bikes. We have something called off lightning, which is we're working with the RPU unit, the policing unit, and they are, from my knowledge, specialist trained to deal with these bikes. So we have to constantly bid with them to come to bid up, and they cover the entirety of Staffordshire, so we can't always guarantee we can get them there. So what we're currently doing is recording any bikes we see. We've got a database where we see all the bikes with no registration and all the riding without proper equipment. We note down the colour, the make, if we can, where we've seen them, where they possibly could be coming from, and we're actually feeding an intel to the officers. We're constantly checking out houses, and hopefully we can get these bikes off the road. Sadly, it is a long-term sort of operation, because obviously we've got to keep building this intel, and I understand it's not a nice thing to be hearing. I'm not a big fan of myself when I see them, but it is. We constantly gather intelligence, constantly feeding into the office, try to get them in the middle as much as often as we can.
Can I just come back, Mr.
Sure.
It seems to me, and I will email the CR McGrath about it, if it isn't, it's a problem everywhere, isn't it?
Yes, it is entirety of staff.
So if you haven't got enough resource to do, come here, because it needs some more research, doesn't it? And obviously that's not for you,
It's not for me to.
but I'm just pass it on by all means. I will email CR McGrath as well. But I think it seems to me that it is an increasing problem. And it is a dangerous problem. Not just it. I was walking through the Arcade and Compton yesterday from Morrison's to the High Street, and nearly got mowed down by one dude. Must have been doing 30 miles an hour. Do that again or there. That's obviously in Cheshire. So it is something that needs a little bit more attention. Yeah. It isn't. I know it seems low level crime. But it's low level crime until somebody gets knocked down and killed. Isn't it?
Like I say, we are actively, every time we see him, my body one goes on, actually, fellow officers, our body one goes on, which records them, and we sort of not jot down where we've seen them, trying to build up this plan of where we're seeing them, where the possibly coming from, all evidence-based before we can start. I have to take them off, because obviously we remove them off the bike, they get hurt, you've got a right to make a complaint for it. It's a lawsuit, it should be said.
I think overall it needs more resources.
Yeah, it's 100%, but it's not, like I say, not my place to say.
I know. All right, thank you, Mr.
And now, councillor Salt, please.
This is on a similar theme, really, regarding Church Road and the bikes. I think people are a bit fed up now, or thinking that it doesn't matter, so we're not reporting intelligence. So my message to the public is, every time you see an off-road bike, call it in. And if they're riding without a helmet, the police have told me that it's a 999 call, because it's a danger to themselves or others. So you ring 999, you report it, and it goes on this database. But I don't think the public have got that message. I think the public are just kind of weary of it all, to be honest, and think nothing's getting done. So they're not reporting it. They're not building up the intelligence profile for you, which makes your job more difficult. So I was just wondering if you could do some door knock all the way up Church Road and across the top, just to speak to members of the public to say, if you see anything, if you see people being a nuisance, either on the park or with the bikes, please call it in, because unless we've got the intelligence, we won't get the results. So if you could do some of that work, I'd be grateful.
So we constantly hold drop-in sessions in the town hall, which is a good way for them to come in, to talk to us. When we've had incidents up on Church Road before, I know I speak for myself, I've got a knocked on every house with cameras, with possibly where they might have seen. I've always said, if you do see them, please do report it, otherwise we can't do anything about it. And I have tried to get this message across. I've left my own personal details with households. If they've got footage, they've always got my email address. If they've got any footage of it, they can just email it straight to me. I can then put it onto the database. If I'm not getting this, like I said, I'm not getting this information, there's very little I can then pass on to the RPU unit to them things. The issue's gone away with it.
The chair, if I may, are we allowed to pass out the PCSO's email addresses or not?
I can't see why not, no, as long as it's genuine circumstances. I'm not getting like, my neighbours told me go away and I'm not happy with this. As long as it's generally for the right policing purposes, I have no issue with my email being passed out.
Thank you very much.
The deputy mayor and councillors.
Just on the same topic, really, just wondering if there's any planned media campaigns. We've got Christmas coming up, we've got retailers who are possibly selling these bikes and not being completely transparent of whether or not they're road legal. A lot of parents thinking what they can buy the kids might be tempted to buy something that potentially, you know, is not suitable for the roads and definitely not for the pavements. Just wondered if there's any media campaigns due to go out, or if there is some work that can be done around that, just to make people a bit more aware of what they might be purchasing over the Christmas period.
I'm not 100% sure if there's any media campaigns going out, but I can also speak to one of our officers who's in charge of our Facebook, see if she knows anything, she might be able to put in the right direction. Then I can always pass it over to Sarah, yourselves, we can sort it out that way.
Yes, councillor Wood.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to come back on, there has been a couple of thefts of motor vehicles up Lotus Avenue in Brownlees, Narbersley. And I believe they've been using a fishing rod to go through the letterbox to hoot the keys, what people have put on a little table in the hallway. Can we highlight that, you know, on your Facebook website or through a post of some description to say to people, there is a spate of thefts. They are getting more sophisticated and, you know, don't leave any keys on a cupboard or a table in your hallway because that's where they're accessing these keys from. Because a friend of mine who lives across the way from me had his car pinched, he had his Audi pinched and they got him with a fishing rod on a hook and hooked his keys. And so if we could highlight that, that'd be very useful, I think.
Yeah, so I can send out smart alerts that get the entirety of Biddle, and I can say, possible safety advice on how like, no keys.
That'd be useful.
When I do go do house to house, see something inquires around these burglaries, my first words to them is, please don't leave your keys in the back of your door, don't leave them on anywhere that can get access. Take them bed yourself, or if you're a keyless fob, buy a Faraday box, or put them in the microwave as a very much of the last resort, just so the keys are outside out of mind safety.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for the police officer, please? No? In which case, Officer Hartfield.
Thank
Thank you very much. Thank you for attending. Now, item 45, apologies.
Yes, we have a number of apologies this evening. Councillors Brady, Eardley, Healy, Hart, Proudlove and Fletcher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we move on to declarations of interest. Are there anyone who wishes to declare any disclosable pecuniary interests and dispensations? Yes. Councillor Salt.
Thank you.
Volunteer expenses.
And secondly, does anyone wish to declare any other disclosable interest at this point? No. You? We now move to the minutes and start with the town council minutes from the 9th of September. Just going through the general headings. Those present in attendance. And then items, and I'll just refer to their numbers, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, up to 43, and I think, and that those complete the minutes. So may we have someone to propose the minutes, please? Thank you, Councillor Garvey, and seconder, Councillor Yates. Thank you. Those in favour? Unanimous. Anyone against? Any abstentions? Thank you. Never get any quicker at doing this, you know. Defined of this one. You. We now move on to the minutes of the Recreation and Amenities Committee. Tuesday, the 9th of September. Sections are those present, in attendance, and the agenda items 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and confidential items 22 and 23. Okay. Would someone wish to propose? Thank you, councillor Parks. And to second, thank you. Yeah, councillor Redford.
Yeah.
Those in favour, please. That's everyone. Is anyone against? Any abstentions? Yes, John.
Anybody watching, I didn't vote on either of the last two meetings because I wasn't at either of them.
Because,
I wasn't at either of them.
right, thank you. We now move to minutes of the planning committee meeting held on the 16th of September. Councillor Garvey.
Those minutes, please.
Right. So go through them.
Yeah, yeah.
Those present, those in attendance, and agenda items 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and I think that's it. Oh, yes, 35.
Need a second.
So, who will second, please? Right, councillor Hawley. And those in favour, please? Is anyone against? Any abstentions? And now, the Town and Community Committee meeting held on the 16th of September. Councillor Salt?
Is Mr. Mayor.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Sections are those present, those in attendance, and the agenda items 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's a lot of those. 25. 26. 27. And confidential item 28. Is there someone to second, please? Oh, thank you, councillor Harper. Those in favour? You? Anyone against? Any abstentions? You? And now the minutes of the Finance, Strategy and Management Committee meeting. Please. Thank you, councillor Rogers. Thank you. So going through the sections, those present, those in attendance, agenda items 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and confidential item 43, oh, several of them, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, and 52. There are a great many of those. And is there a seconder, please? Oh, Councillor Harper again.
Yep.
Thank you. Those in favour? Please. Those against? Or abstentions? One. Thank you. And staff need sign. Yeah. So that completes agenda item 47, the minutes. We now come to agenda item 48. Biddulph Town Mayor's report. Here goes. In the period from the beginning of September up to early October, I have attended 9 even, events, both in Biddulph and beyond. In the centre of the town itself, there were, first of all, 2 events in one. The classic car show, which goes from strength to strength, attracted no fewer than 230, was it 230? So 8 entries this year. And later in the day, I was delighted to present the awards for the various winning vehicles to their proud owners. The other event that day was the opening of the newly redesigned Town Hall frontage. It was a great privilege to deliver a short speech at the ceremony and a joy to receive some of the many favourable and appreciative comments about the mining memorial and the development as a whole. 2 weeks later, the first event to be held on the new Town Hall frontage was, in itself, a first. It was the homegrown and homemade produce show. And this too was a great success. I attended and delivered a short speech to mark the occasion. Once again, many favourable comments about it have been received. Later in the month, there was an occasion when the Staffordshire Moorlands came to Biddulph. Councillor Adam Parks, chair of SMDC, chose a Methodist church where he has such strong family connections for his civic service. I was privileged and proud to be invited to participate in this service. Afterwards, there was also the opportunity to show off the Town Hall frontage to the visiting dignitaries. 2 of the events which I attended were held in Leek. Firstly, there was a Merchant Navy Day ceremony organised by SMDC, where I laid a wreath on behalf of the Biddulph Town Council. The other one, a few days later, was when Leek Town Council held an event to commemorate the centenary of the Nicholson War Memorial, which is such a focal point in the town centre. Travelling further afield, I went to Uttoxeter. This was to attend the town mayor's civic service held at St Mary's Parish Church. It was a most congenial occasion, and it was a first-time visit to the town centre for me. There were also 2 visits to the potteries. I was part of a small group of visitors from Biddulph, both town councillors and staff, who attended the Transforming the Trent Valley event held in the King's Hall, Stoke. We received an update of the progress of this extensive project, which we believe promises to bring opportunities to the Biddulph area where the head of the Trent is located. Lastly, and just into October, was an invitation to attend the formal opening of the new Citizens Advice Headquarters in Hanley. These occupy Mitchell House, which is one of the buildings in the office development just out of town, on Town Road, near to Providence Square. 3 floors of the building are occupied by the staff and volunteers, and very extensive use is made of computer technology. I only saw 1 sheet of paper lying about anywhere. I certainly look for it. It's nice to think, though, that visitors who come to consult the advisors at Biddulph Town Hall are first greeted and directed, if required, by the Town Hall receptionists. It's the best of both worlds, really. Time marches on, and save the date messages are already being received for Christmas events to attend. More about these and others in due course. We now move on to the standing agenda items. The first of these is to receive an update on the management of town council assets. Chief Officer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no update on this. We haven't received any kind of visits or assessments since our last meeting.
Thank you. Second one is to receive an update on health and safety activities, including risk management.
I think it's worth mentioning here, if I may, Mr. Mayor, there is a group that's considering Martin's Law and the impact that that will have on our activities. We've had 2 meetings now. We've walked around the town hall quite extensively and thought, you know, imagined ourselves in kind of terrorist situations and tried to think about escape routes and suitable ways to manage that. Our next meeting we are having in a few weeks' time, and we'll hopefully plan what mitigation is needed for outside large-scale events as well. So we've already had some discussions about bringing in large bollards to block roads, should that be necessary. So we'll carry those discussions forward. The hope being then that will help us come up with very comprehensive risk assessment and a sort of wish list in terms of the way we need to develop the building and our assets to comply with that legislation. So more on that later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thirdly, sorry, excuse me, yes, Councillor Salt.
I don't think you would have said, but have we had any update on the RAC situation?
No, that's a work in progress. We've, if I may, work has been completed as far as we're aware to make the various feelings involved stronger. But we're having discussions about how we will manage that going forward, because obviously we'll need to have constant reviews, and that's a conversation we're still having.
Councillor Yates.
Yeah, just really point to information, just following up on that, because RAC's something which I follow very closely. It's Staffordshire Orleans. It loosely comes in my portfolio on the environment. There isn't a structural issue with the RAC which is in the town hall, and there have been reinforcements done within girders across the top just to effectively spread the weight. But one of the main concerns of buildings which have rack in them is if it's actually in the vertical supports and upstandings which support any of the roof across the top. We will see if you go in the town hall, it's actually got open steel girders, and the uprighting supports are actually just steel girders which are encased with render. So in that context, it's not classed as a critical structure. Although anything, a little bit like asbestos, anything with rack in does go on a registering for a long-term thing, but on a scheme of panic, it's very low on the agenda, so to speak. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for that explanation, councillor. Thank you. And councillor Smith.
Yeah, just to go back to Martin's Law, I know someone did send out about a webinar that the SPCA have organised, which is next Tuesday. If anyone hasn't booked onto that, it's about how that might affect us. So if anyone hasn't booked onto it,
That's a great
book on.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Just on that matter, every time I try to click on links, it keeps telling me I've got to sign up for a Mindcast. Which,
Yeah, you might need to come and have a conversation with that. That's our
Like a filter.
filter. Yeah, so we'll help you bypass that. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Any more points there? Thank you.
Thank you.
So we now move to receive an update on the Biddulph Works Together project. May we call on,
Okay.
may we call on councillor Jackson?
Expecting that.
Oh,
That last meeting we had was very well attended. A couple of things. How far are we now from actually producing our document ready for the winter months? So we must be very close.
Progress.
It's in
Yes.
progress. I know that's
Yeah.
very close. And we also wondered another very popular group in Biddulph that works with a lot of Biddulph residents is the University of the Third Age. And I was sort of wondering whether we could sort of get a meeting with them at some point to just to see if anything that they actually, it's stuff that they do fits in with some of the work that we do at Biddulph Works Together. But it's as I say regularly, it's a privilege to chair that group, a bunch of incredible volunteers, so much for the town. And quite often go a little bit unsung out there. A lot of the work they do is not seen. But it's really appreciated certainly by me as a councillor, and I think around this table, everybody, councillors around this table appreciate the work that all of those volunteers do. Thank you, Chair.
thank you, Karen. That's it. Thank you. Councillor Salt.
I was just going to ask if we're running the toy collection this year. I've told a business that normally collects for us that we are, because I'm guessing we wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, so just in terms of my very brief updates on that, we're definitely doing the toy appeal again, so we can talk to a range of partners about that. I've had some initial discussions with Sainsbury's, who were a kind of collection point last time. So we've already agreed that we'll do the toy appeal again. And we're in the process of developing a new logo. So hopefully we'll be able to send that out with the draft schedule, and then that, I know that was one of the recommendations from the piece of research that Councillor Salt led on. So nearly there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more? Right. Thank you. So we've now moved to agenda item number 50, to receive an update on outside body meetings attended since last meeting in September. So did anyone go to Biddulph in Bloom? Yes, please. Sorry.
Not in Bloom, sorry. No, sorry.
No.
I'll wait for you.
Did you? Sam?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Yes, just a very, very brief update from the meeting on the 8th of October from the Biddulph in Bloom. It was a very well attended meeting held at Biddulph Grange in the rather splendid room there. They actually, I'd say, a very significant amount of fundraising has been done over this year, and they're financially in a fairly stable position. Their social media activities have increased their followers quite significantly, and they have very good foundations now laid for a growth program for the next 3 to 5 years. I think, and also looking forward to the future, they have a full program of events scheduled for the coming year. So they're looking to be, obviously we'll look for other volunteers to help with those as the year goes on. Thank you.
Thank you for that report. Now, the Moorlands Assembly, has anyone been to, councillor Salt?
Just wanted to come back to council.
Oh, sorry, indeed, do so.
Can you tell me who the chair of Biddulph Bloom is now? Because it's changed. I just want to know for information.
Yes, I can send that to you. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's Helen, but I can't remember.
Helen Welshaw.
Wilshire.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Moorlands Assembly? Anyone? Councillor Red.
Mr Mayor, hot topic on all these assemblies at the moment is LGR, local government reorganisation. We had quite a long talk over that again. Now, as you're probably aware, there was a survey which closed on the 12th of October, public consultation. Now, it will be nice to see what the results of that are. I know that date's now closed, but we'd be interested to see what the results are, what the feelings of the members of the public are. But obviously, it's a stressful time for councils. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. The next is Staffordshire Parish Councils Association. Is there anyone?
Oh, since last month.
Same thing, is it? Right, thank you. The Moorlands Partnership Board?
I don't think that's met.
No. And the Twinning Association, that's me, isn't it? I've got nothing to say, frankly.
Trade doesn't.
And Fair Trade hasn't had a meeting.
Yes.
So that completes item 50. We now move to item 51. This item requested by councillor Garvey, and it's titled The Illegal Installation of Flags and/or Banners on Biddulph Lampposts and Street Furniture. Councillor Garvey.
Mr Mayor, if I can provide a little context to the motion before the council this evening and a very minor amendment to what's actually printed in the agenda.
As read.
I know, it's okay. I'll add a little bit more to it later on.
Sorry.
Thank you. But I think along with, I would suspect all my fellow councillors in this room are very proud to stand behind our town council, flying the union flag outside the town hall. And I have absolutely no problem with individuals legally flying their national flag of choice, whatever that might be, on their own properties. There's a clear guidelines as to what you can and cannot fly legitimately without license and permissions on your own property. However, let us not pretend that the illegal attachment of flags and political banners, the road signs and lampposts around our town is some sort of sudden outpouring of patriotic fervour. The reality is that these flags started to appear shortly after Raise the Colours was launched, a campaign that's organised and promoted by Stephen Yaxley Lennon and Andrew Curran, two well-known right-wing activists and former members of the English Defence League. Let's be clear. There is nothing wrong with raising the Union flag or the Cross of St George legally on your own property. And despite what some people might claim on social media, it's not illegal to be proud to be English or British. And it's also true that not everyone who's raised the flag or raising the flag is far right. However, much of the wave of activism that's being organised, or the fact that much of the activism is being organised by well-known racists, convicted racists and extremists, does raise questions about the motivations behind Operation Raise the Colours. It's this weaponising of our cherished national symbols that most concerns me and all the people who've contacted me directly. Using the Union flag as a weapon of identity rather than a symbol of pride, using it to provoke rather than unite. These actions are not patriotism. They're frankly disrespectful. And for me, and those who've contacted me, it's an embarrassment to our town. That is not what Biddulph is about. Therefore, following the receipt of numerous complaints regarding the most recent installation of Union and St George's flags on lampposts along Meadows Way, I call upon this council to issue a statement condemning this dangerous and potentially illegal activity and request that Staffordshire Police if not already, are investigating the incident. I would propose that this council instructs the chief officer to contact the leader and the CEO of Staffordshire County Council, who are our local highways authority, to ask for permission to attach these flags was requested from them and express consent granted by them to do so by the county council or its officers. She should also request that if this was not the case, they should arrange for their removal immediately, along with all other illegally raised flags, irrespective of what that flag is, of what nation that is, throughout Biddulph and Biddulphmore. That's the extra bit. I would further propose Chief Officer writes to the relevant power company that operates that street lighting in Biddulph to inquire if they've received an application to install flags on their lampposts, along with the appropriate health and safety risk assessments for the installation process. And if not, what action they intend to take against the perpetrators. And asking also if no action is going to be taken against these perpetrators, can they confirm that similar exemptions would be afforded any other organisation that might wish to affix items, such as Christmas lights or bunting, to that company's assets? If they're going to take that approach whereby they're quite cavalier about this, then would at least save our office some time and energy of trying to make applications. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Garvey. Now, before opening the matter to the floor, I'd like to point out that the aim of this agenda item is to receive basically these two proposals that Councillor Garvey has just read. The first one slightly amended from what's printed, to receive them and to decide whether or not to accept or reject them. So comments which go down into the areas of the pros and cons of racism or whatever won't be helpful, particularly for that, and would please be mindful of that before commenting.
Point of order. Hey, are you saying that this proposal doesn't need a seconder? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that at all. No. We haven't, we've had two people who indicate they wish to speak. First of all, Councillor Salt.
Should you get a seconder, please?
I'd like to second the motion, please, Mr. Mayor.
The first motion, will you do one at a time?
With the amendment.
Both parts.
Both parts.
Both part, which,
Yeah.
this is both of them.
I'd like to give my rationale, please, for seconding the motion. So I'd like to concur with Councillor Garvey. There is absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever with flying our flags, especially in prominent locations, for example, at the town hall front, as we always do, and in our gardens and other public buildings, as long as they're the right way up. There's a flag currently on a public building in Biddulph Town High Street that is currently flying the wrong way up on a business. I'll let you work out which one that is. That's a request from my mother, who, as you know, is chair of the British Legion, and she gets absolutely sick to the backseat of seeing flags that are upside down. However, the flags that have been put up, and bear with me on this, the flags that have been put up in Chell, because of the recent winds, they've only been up 4 weeks, they are sagging, they're damaged, they're covering street furniture, the cable ties are hanging off. And I just want to, if we're going to let people put flags up, well, they shouldn't have been put up, who's going to look after them when they become threadbare and start becoming a danger and blowing into the road? Who's going to pick up that litter? That's one of the problems with allowing people to put things up willy-nilly because they're not taking care of them. However, there is a significant issue with flags that have been desecrated, in my opinion. So our Union flag that's used to go across coffins when people are being brought back from war has been desecrated up at Biddulph Moor with "Stop the Boats" clearly printed across it. That is a step too far. That absolutely should not exist in our community. It's an embarrassment to our town. Our community has absolutely been contacting councillors. I spoke to a lady at the weekend who was absolutely maddened, and I know she's contacted other people in this room about the flags that have appeared around the town, and she wants something done about it. And what I did is I passed her on to the county councillor, who are the highway authority, and it's only the county councillors that can potentially take action. The county councillors have ignored us both on 2 occasions now when I've written to them about the flags that have been flying. Community cohesion is a really precious thing indeed, and this town has a long history of accepting migrants, thinking about the Polish community that came to Biddulph back in the 60s and 70s. We should do all that we can to make all members of Biddulph feel welcome. Flags with "Stop the Boats" on them undermines that. I don't blame people for being let down by all colours of politician, but let's not scapegoat migrants, because that is not the answer. Biddulph is better than this. I fully support your motion.
Councillor Jackson, you wish.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I was more than happy to second Councillor Garvey's really well constructed proposal, quite frankly. I think it touches all of the bases that need touching. When I read this, I thought, let's do a little bit of digging here. First port of call was the county council to find out whether they had been asked for permission to put these up. Because if that had happened, you'd have to weigh a lot of the argument. And the information I got from the county council, there's no record of anybody asking permission to put any flags on the lampposts up the bypass. So therefore, that makes the flags illegal. That's the top and bottom of it. Now, I also asked, well, no, she actually offered this information, the county council policy on flags. If they've been put up, and it seems to me whether legally or illegally, they are not going to take them down. Now, I find that is really a very dangerous, slippery slope for a county council, for a position for a county council, to actually to say that something is illegal, and I'll go a bit further, something that's actually illegal, for them to turn a blind eye to it. I thought, right, next port of call, this was like an hour and a half conversation with the county council, that's as much as I really got. I thought, right, what's the legal position? And I got in touch with one of our PCSOs after going down the list and see who was available. Scott Perry very kindly came back to me and said he'd look into it and give me some information. And in a very short space of time, he did do. And there are quite a few little bits of legislation that this can actually cover. Highways Act 1980, sections 132 to 178. It is a criminal offence to paint, affix or attach any picture, sign, notice or item, including flags or fittings, to a highway structure without the lawful authority. Offences can result in fines, and the council has the powers to remove the unauthorised items. So the council has the power to remove them if they so wish. The Highways Act, it is an offence to cause willful obstruction to the highway, flags or affixings that might impede pedestrians, vehicles or visibility that could fall under this section. Town and Country Planning, 2007. Flags with wording, which comes to exactly the point that Jill said about the one particularly up in Park Lane, the Stop Boats one. Flags displaying wording, logo or symbols that may constitute advertising expressing consent to the planning authority. Public Order Acts, back a bit for 1986. If the display of a flag causes harassment, alarm, distress, or stirs up hatred on the grounds such as race or religion, the police may intervene. Antisocial behaviour, repeated nuisance. I know some of the flags around the roundabout on St John's Road have been taken down. I don't know no idea who took them down, and they have been put up again. So whoever took them down, I'm suggesting may have taken those flags as a bit of an offence and took them down because of it. I don't know who did it, but that's a repeat offence. So that's perhaps another bit of the law that they've actually overstepped. Enforcement, primarily enforcement rests with the local council highways or street lighting team. Jim's proposal covers really both of those either. The police employment typically arises where there is public safety or order concerns. Perhaps we're not at that point yet, but who knows? It's how big a step is it from where we are now to another MP or another public figure is attacked for what they think. And I'm thinking that that's on both sides of that argument. I'm sure it's not somewhere where we really want to go. So he sums it up like this: in short, flags or other attachments to lampposts or highway structures require prior authorisation. Without it, the display is unlawful and may be removed. The possible penalties for the persons responsible. And thank Scott actually for getting that information to me very, very quickly. It was really very useful. And, you know, probably did put cart above the horse as far as some of this is concerned. But I think the problem is, when you've got a county council that's run and ruled by reform at the moment, and this flag policy is quite new for them, because one of the big things that happened in one other council was a big uproar where the leader said, take that flag down. The chief executive said, I'm not authorised to take it down. I've got a flag policy. And there was a big hoo-ha about it, made national news. Reform at the moment are in control of the county council. That is what the public voted for, and I have got absolutely no problem with that. But I have got a problem with what appears if the county council are now condoning and doing nothing about an illegal act that's happened in our town, and it's happened in Stoke-on-Trent, and as Joe quite rightly says, if these people had sort of been in touch with the county council and asked, can we put up some flags? And the county council said, yeah, no problem. I wouldn't be standing on my feet now. I wouldn't have a problem with it. Put as many flags as they want. But at least then the county council has got somebody who they can go back to and say, your flags are looking utter disgrace now because they tapped it, they discovered with the sun and with the rain and everything else, and they are now looking unsightly. Will you please come and take it down? County council is not in that position because that first step wasn't taken. Thank you for your indulgence, sir.
Thank you for discovering that great raft of legislation that would seem to support the argument so that it should not be there. Don't know, may I say, you know, as a personal contribution to the debate, if no one ends up taking responsibility or the initiative to remove them, what's the position of an individual who removes them? Is that in itself illegal? I don't know. Yes, Councillor Smith.
Just to say that I do know of in Stoke there have been the electric company have been taking them down off some of the lampposts, and some of the people who've been taking them down, who've been working for the organisation that's been instructing them to take them down, have been receiving a lot of abuse while they've been taking them down as well. So I would urge that if the outcome of this is that the flags get taken down, that members of the public do not abuse workers who are just simply doing their jobs.
Yes. Thank you. Councillor Wood, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I don't want to reiterate the points that have been well made by other contributors on this. This is clearly an issue that is trying to cause division in Biddulph. And there's no place in Biddulph for that. We're a town that welcomes all visitors, whether they stay in Biddulph, live in Biddulph, just travel into Biddulph. This is all about, there's a political agenda, both nationally and locally, to cause divisions amongst communities because they fear, as Councillor Short alluded to, you know, the people coming in on boats. And there's absolutely no place for that in Biddulph. And, you know, these organisations are gathering momentum because some national politicians are peddling the line that, you know, the illegal immigrants, the boat people are having all this money, and people are buying into that, unfortunately. And as I say, there's no place for that in Biddulph. We're a harmonious community. It's a lovely town, and we're getting people from outside who are putting these flags up. They aren't Biddulph people. They're coming from outside. There's a high ab, I think it was a high ab, all the way through Biddulph, going up to Top of Chell. You can see, you know, they've put them up at a great height. And there's absolutely, there's no place for them here. And the national politicians have got a lot to answer for because they're peddling this. They're peddling this division. And what we've got to do is do the right thing. And Councillor Jackson's outlined the legal position in terms of the county council. It is the county council. The reason they put a ban on people putting stuff on lampposts was years and years ago when they used to have all different political parties used to put the banners on the lampposts and whatever, and then they were left there after the election and nobody took them down. So that was the reason they put a wholesale ban on anything being advertised or banners being put on the county council controlled or city council controlled lampposts. That's where it originated from. So these people are doing it illegally, and I know, Councillor Garvey's outlined that point. But let's not be afraid to call it out for what it is. It's a campaign to cause division. And we, as a local authority, as a town council, should have no part in that whatsoever. And right into the county council, right into the chief executive of the county council, right into the leader of the council, I think is the right way, because we'll see what they want. And if they don't agree with taking these down, then they are part and they're complicit in this. So, we need to do that. That's the right form of action to take. It's a responsible way to do it. Well, let's be under no illusion. There is a movement to cause division in this country, not just here, but right across the country. And there's no place for it in Biddulph.
Thank you, councillor. Yes, councillor Jones, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I pretty much agree with everything that's been said. The only thing I like Councillor Garvey's motion. The only thing I'm not sure about is I'm not sure if we should be asking the police to get involved with this. I think they've got better things to do. But the other two, it's fully and squarely a county issue. This is. But speaking as somebody that's proudly flown the Union flag in his back garden for the last nearly 50 years, continue to do so. I don't really have an issue with the flags per se. What I do have an issue with is flags with writing in them, firstly. And I agree with Councillor Salt. What I also have an issue with is the fact that they are cheap flags. There'll be rags. I do have issues with blue and white bits of rag being flown, which is what it will be until it will sip once the winter sets in. So, and I would just urge anybody that's watching this, I would urge them not to take them down themselves, because they could end up with a confrontation, which we don't want. This is squarely an issue for county council. Everybody said that, and it is. If they're not stepping up to the mark, they need to be called out for that, because it's their legislation, it's their issue to solve. And I'm sad that our county council hasn't come here tonight, because we could have asked him to pursue it. I know members have contacted him, as have I, about these things. I know Councillor Garvey has, and they've been sadly lacking in doing anything. So let's not hide try and get around the fact and push your foot around the fact this is an issue for the county council. And if they're simply endorsing it, which they seem to be doing at the moment, then we should be calling them out for that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Hawley, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I mean, I can take all the views that have come so far in terms of the political side and everything about these flags. As far as I'm concerned, it boils down to one thing: they're illegal. And potentially, irrespective of why they're there, they're illegal and they should be taken down. And so potentially what we should be doing, as Councillor Garvey said, is writing to the county council, and they should come and remove them. Irrespective of why they're there, that basically comes down to one thing: they are illegal, and they need removing.
Well,
thank you. Councillor Smith.
Can I just ask, did we receive apologies from our county councillors this evening? Because I didn't see any apologies noted.
No.
No. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Case.
I'd just like to say a thank you to Gary and all of our fellow councillors for raising this. I think being one of the ethnic minorities living in Biddulph, I think this is the first time. Basically, I've been living in the UK for over 21 years. This is the first time I started to feel a little bit unsafe in my personal life. And sometimes this atmosphere in the society made me even question whether what the future for me in the UK, in the country. And I think in Biddulph, especially it's a the wide majority community. And so for people like me are very visible when we go outside. So we can be easily targeted. And also from the social media, and a lot of comments are quite threatening. And so really, yeah, this is my personal feeling. And I think I'm grateful to your speaking up on this issue. And I think, as along with you, and I think I also received a lot of support and encouragement from my church members and other people in the community. And I do feel that actually there are a lot of people who don't support this. And I think we all know what's the agenda behind this round of flag flying. It's not simple just flying our flags. So I'm just deeply grateful and warmed and encouraged by you. And I think it is important for our council to make a statement because the small number of people who are doing this, we shouldn't let them represent Biddulph. I think Biddulph is a much better place and a lot of more people actually don't support this. And I think it's important for us to say something so that the ethnic minority community can be encouraged and feeling at home here. But still, yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor Fee. Thank you. Councillor Yates.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thank you very much for saying that, Councillor Case. That really is well said. Thank you, thank you. I feel the same. I mean, I feel embarrassed because of the subtext to this this flag fly. It's not patriotic. It's not put there because they're proud of the flag. I was proud to be mayor of this town last year. And as mayor of this town, as the current mayor has done, we go to many flag raising ceremonies. We stand there, the appropriate time of the day, the appropriate place, with a proper, professional, handcrafted flag, which is flown high, which is flown proud, which is saluted by members of the armed forces there, and we all stand proud. These flags have been put up in the early hours, in the middle of the night, by people in balaclavas, sneaking around, half-mast, upside down, imported cheap copies of our national emblem, our national symbol. It's totally, utterly unacceptable. And to hear what you said there, I mean, that just amplifies what is in the back of the mind of the people who put these things up. I live over in Gilheath, as people know, drive down Station Road. There's a number of in-community care facilities down there. They are manned by members of ethnic minorities who come from the city and beyond. I shudder to think what they feel when they're driving through Chell, Tegays and now Meadows Way to go and do an honest day's work to help our members of our community. Do they feel pride? Do they feel fear? Do they think, I'll do the job, get in and get out? That's not what we want for our community. So thank you, Councillor Case, for standing up, saying what you said, fully appreciated. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah. Now, thank you. Now have two further speakers, and then I think perhaps we have very well expressed the sentiments on this matter. So first of all, Councillor Salt, please.
For allowing me to speak again, I was just going to thank Councillor Case. Around this table, we're predominantly men, white men, with a couple of women thrown in, and we can't possibly understand what it feels like to have a different coloured skin. And I was only teaching this topic today. So thank you for bravely speaking out. And I'm really glad that this town council has embraced somebody from another culture and you're part of our team. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, Councillor Rogers, please.
Yes, thank you. I wasn't going to speak on this. I thought enough's been said. Now Councillor Case has said what she has said. I'm a bit upset, to say the least, don't know who the flags are being aimed at, or nationalities or anything. But somebody who's a highly respected minister of this town, who's got those feelings, you've got to be sorted out ASAP. Please contact everybody tomorrow, county councillors, who we can to get this issue sorted out. I'm sorry you feel that way. I don't know who they aimed at. I don't know much about them at all. But because of your feelings, as somebody, a highly respected person of this town, it's got to be sorted out. Thank you.
Is there a new point to be made?
Just quickly, Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to qualify what I said earlier. I personally, I don't have an issue with them per se. I haven't really considered what that's the case. Said, and that's touched me somewhat. And I really feel now that I'll take the bloody things down straight away, and I don't apologise for swearing. You know, we need to get them taken down. We need to put so much pressure on county council and get them down, get them taken down.
Thank you. Yes. Councillor Harper, did you have something new to add?
Sorry?
Have you got something new to add to the?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. No, well, I've been listening to everybody, but at the same time, as a side issue, really, we actually own some of the lampposts, don't we, in the town centre? Because when we had these extensions put onto them, we took ownership of them, as we've got the one at Knipersley. So we can police our very own. But I fully agree with what you're saying about the county council, but we've also got to be vigilant of the lampposts that we have controlled.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. So we return to Councillor Garvey's two proposals. The Councillor Garvey?
There are technically three requests there. There is the original one, which is that the council issues a statement condemning the activity. And I'm very pleased to see the level of support around this table, because we as a town council have to stand up to this, because someone has to stand up at some point. And now is the time, I think, for us, town council, to make this stand. There is an old phrase that says, evil to triumph, it just takes good people to stand by and do nothing. We're not those people standing by. Thank you.
I see. Thank you. So making that, which I didn't realize was, the first proposal, we've now got the three, and I think the move wasn't to consider them all together.
May I ask? I'm sorry. What was the slight amendment? Which part was the slight amendment?
Was at the, I can stand up. The second, the first formal proposal, but following on from the issuing a statement, I added, along with all other illegally raised flags throughout Biddulph. Because I'm conscious that it's not just the flags on Meadows Way have presented the most visible symbol and have provoked a lot of comment, a lot of complaint. But there are a lot of other flags around town. And also that if the flag is raised illegally, irrespective of what it is a flag of, whether it's the Union flag, St George's flag, Cross of St George, or even a Palestinian flag, if it's illegally raised, we should ask the district.
Yes.
So that's at the end of the
Illegality, as well as the underlying.
A bit off. Right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So we are to consider then those three components proposals as the one. So have we got who voted it?
Councillor Garvey, Councillor Salt.
Right, Councillor Salt, the seconder. So
To vote.
we now have a vote, please. Those in favour of Councillor Garvey's three proposals it's unanimous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Mayor, can we do a forthwith on that one as well, rather than having to wait?
Forthwith. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Right. Moving on now to agenda item 52. To approve a town council response in relation to the county council local transport plan consultation. This consultation promised for October come with what some consider to be quite a short deadline for it to be considered in. And to that end, we called at very short notice last evening, held a meeting of the Transport Working Group to consider what we should do as a town council to respond to the consultation. One of our members, because of his involvement, members of the working group, because of his involvement in other council matters, had a chance to study the consultation, which runs to 130 so pages, the document does, and was kind enough to give some key points, which the chief officer has now placed into those relating to Biddulph itself. And it's these points that are in the document that you all have here, recommendations from the Transport Working Group, if you like. Excuse me, Councillor Salt, do you wish to speak at this point?
Wondered if anything could be added to what we've got there, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, yes.
The second tip where we've got bus infrastructure is crucial for Biddulph.
Well,
I just wondered if we could reinforce the whys there. So a lot of our children head out into the city to access college courses that can't be accessed in Biddulph, which is one significant reason why we need a good bus infrastructure. And the second reason is all the hospitals exist outside of Biddulph. And that's another reason why we need an excellent bus infrastructure to make sure that people can get to hospitals and education. I just wondered if we could make that clear.
Meanwhile, the Chief Officer will read it as originally written, bearing in mind your
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, I wondered if it might be beneficial for those who are potentially watching us on YouTube. So the key issues that we identified, that within the whole document, all 133 pages and multiple appendices, there is very little mention of Biddulph or the wider Staffordshire Moorlands district. So that's something that instantly we're critical of. We haven't had any contact so far from our county councillors as regards what their view is and how they want to move that forward, and any input that would be relevant to us. So the plan from the working group was that we try to meet with them within the next couple of weeks. So we'll put forward a handful of dates when we can make that work, and hope that they'll come and have that conversation with us. We identified a number of strategic priorities for Biddulph. So none of these are new to you, because these are sorts of things that we've been working on over the past few months and years. As we all know, and we often talk about, effective engagement with our neighbours, that being Cheshire East and Stoke, is crucial. There is one road in and one road out of Biddulph. So actually our connectivity with our neighbours is absolutely crucial. And there is no reference to any of our neighbours within this local transport plan. There's no, Stoke on the map is a big black hole, and there is nothing beyond the boundary there. So we need there to be effective consultation with our neighbours. As Councillor Salt says, the bus infrastructure is absolutely crucial for Biddulph. We would like to see continued subsidy of services and investment in shelters, real-time information, to ensure that we can connect our residents with the opportunities they need, and we can talk about college and hospitals within that. In terms of cycle routes, we want to make sure there is ongoing maintenance of existing cycle routes that are within the county council ownership. And we've also talked previously about improving the routes to the east of the town, that kind of resurrection of the old carriage drive from the kind of Park Lane end all the way up to the Biddulph North area. That's been an aspiration of ours for a long time, and something that could be taken forward strategically within this 25-year local transport plan. And finally, and most disappointingly for me, because I had received some assurances that this would form part of the document, as those who've been here for a little while will know, we've done quite a lot of the legwork with Amy to look at the potential pedestrianisation of the southern end of the High Street. There is more work to do on that, but we've started some of that work to try and make sure that our town centre continues to thrive for years to come, and that doesn't form part of this document. So that's something that we would want to continue to push forward. So they're the issues that the working group identified, and really this is an opportunity for you to kind of say, is there anything else? Is there anything missing? Obviously, through the various links that I've sent, try and digest the 133 pages and multiple appendices, and then there is an online questionnaire that they want us to complete for that as well.
So we would invite further suggestions if anyone has any. Heard from Councillor Salt, thank you. Oh, Councillor Jackson, please.
Yeah, I attended the Transport Working Group and I confess I'd never read the document, 130 odd pages. I left that to others who were getting paid a lot more money than I am to do so. And Nigel and Councillor Proudlove, and their responsibilities from across SMDC, went through this document and highlighting many, many issues, mainly, you know, more than wide rather than little specifics. So what Sarah's actually done here is picked out from that document that was produced by Nigel and Dave to get to where we are here. What concerns me with that document really is nobody's politically owned it. Nobody from, not a political party, not a leader, not a portfolio holder for transport has got his name or her name on that document. So it's just the one that's out there for consultation at the moment. As I understand it, Stoke's like a black hole, it's a white hole. There's nothing going in or coming out of Stoke, which for us, it's vital. We can't get anywhere with basically without sort of going through the city anywhere. As Jill has pointed out, the hospitals, the schools, the further education, which is vital. Young people don't have cars. Young people need transport to get to colleges. It's such a vital thing. And it's been sketchy in the past. And this perhaps was hopefully a document where things could be improved. And from what I've sort of seen of it, what I've heard of the transport, it fails miserably in that respect. Now, I don't know, I'm thinking this isn't all a reform document. I'm thinking some of this is the previous administration, some work was done before the election on this document anyway. So eventually somebody will politically own it. And once that happens, they need to know. But certainly we in Biddulph here are very, very unhappy with what has been produced as a transport plan. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Now, Councillor Smith, please.
Yeah, just to add, if we could add Newcastle under Lyme into that as well, because we're bordering, but also because of the colleges and things that it serves.
Yes. May I make a little contribution now? And that is, very, very recently, an ex-colleague of mine from when I worked in transport at City Council emailed me to say, we've done a new bus map. It just about reaches Biddulph. Would you like some copies? We've got copies downstairs and I've taken them to the library. And the bus map is Stoke-on-Trent and Newcastle. And when you open it up, it's a list of all the bus services in North Staffordshire. And it reaches Biddulph. The transport professionals are capable of talking to one another. It makes you wonder why this transport plan is so wanting when it comes to interrelationship between different areas. It's inconsistent with this very document that was issued only last month in September. That's just an observation, really.
The agenda item is to approve the town council's response.
Yes.
Are we happy? Do you want to
Yes.
propose on second?
Could I just say one more thing, please? And it's this. I was hoping tonight that we'll be able to show a copy of our proposed response to county councillor or county councillors to give them chance to perhaps add more material to this. And then we could consider that when we complete our reply. But they're not here. So rather think we will go with this and with Councillor Salt's additions to it, if people agree with that. So a proposer, please. Is that Councillor?
And Councillor Salt.
Proposer.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, not Chair. Sorry, I'm happy to propose.
So thank you. Second of Councillor Smith.
Yep.
Those in favour of that action, yes. I think that's
Add another forthwith, Chair.
A fourth
Is
one, another
that
fourth.
unanimous then? Thank you. No abstentions, was it? No. Thank you for that. 52. The next item 53 is to approve a letter to Staffordshire Moorlands District Council regarding the town council's strategic priorities and the statement of intent. And we have, as part of our documentation here, a letter dated the 15th of October that the chief officer has compiled.
You want me to?
Yes,
comment?
please.
Thank you. So the Local Government Reorganisation and Devolution Working Group met recently, and we were encouraged through the previous motion put by Councillor Proudlove to consider our locality working plans and how we propose as a town council to move forward with local government reorganisation and devolution. And at this point, whilst a number of us have been involved in discussions with the district council, we haven't, as a town council, written to them and said, these are our objectives, these are our ideas, our plans, our key documents, as it were. So the Local Government Reorganisation Working Group identified 4 key strategic priorities for Biddulph. And the wording in the letter, so we talked about the implementation of the neighbourhood plan, the implementation of the town centre master plan, which is a document that was developed as part of the neighbourhood plan process. We'd spoken about pedestrianisation of High Street South. Obviously, we've previously made reference to that. And then beyond that, it's effective local management of Biddulph Town Hall and other assets. So that gives us the potential to have discussions about the future management of assets and services within the town. We, within this letter, identify that we are happy to move forward with discussions about legacy opportunities. And we've already engaged with our locality lead, who is Councillor Flunder, on that issue. We've also spoken about the creation of a town partnership, and we considered that the Biddulph Works Together collaboration is a strong basis for that, and our intention is to include local employers and service providers within that to create a wider group, and we would welcome the involvement of Staffordshire District Council officers. And then we conclude by saying we look forward to working with you and your team in transition, and that's our kind of start for 10, as it were. We make no comment about whether or not we prefer option whatever. That's not the purpose of this. We are not saying yes to any particular arrangement as regards what local government might look like. The purpose of this letter is to say these are the important things for Biddulph. We want to move them forward to make sure we get the absolute best deal that we can.
Thank you very much, Chief Officer. So far, 5 people have indicated they wish to speak. Please. So, Councillor Garvey, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank the Chief Officer for an excellent summary of the discussions and outcomes from the Local Government Reorganisation Working Group, which I have the honour of chairing. And I would certainly like to propose that we approve this going forward, as it does quite clearly state our preferred options. What we're trying to do is to improve the situation of the town of Biddulph within whatever the new unitary structures might look like within the county as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Soft, please.
I just wondered if in the paragraph before the final sentence, we could use the language that is current. So if we can talk about Biddulph Works Together as effectively integration of health and social care under the Health and Social Care Act 2022. I just thought it would be important if we use that kind of language in there to reinforce the scope of what we're trying to do, if that's all right.
Thank you. Councillor Jones, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, just very quickly, I don't have any issues with this. I think it's great, it's very good, well put together. Thank you, Sarah and team. I just wonder, could we send a copy to Staffordshire County Council as well? What you got to do, what we aren't doing. Thing is how we get no one listening them at all.
Thank you. And Councillor Yates, please.
Yes, thank you. Just picking up on that point from Councillor Jones, which is something which I was going to say. And that is, you've got a comment towards the bottom of the first page, which is to do with the pedestrianisation of High Street, which is very much a highways remit. So in that context, I think the county council is something which does need a copy going. The other thing which I will say, and I will say something to the credit of Councillor Flunder, who is our locality lead, but also a concern in the context that as county councillor, for a party which was not represented at Biddle Town Council, he never missed a meeting, and he always gave us a full and frank update, warts and all of everything which was going on at county, which is something which is sorely lacking when we come in at the moment, when we come in to look at these kind of documents. However, what I will say is that I'm a little bit concerned that we do have Councillor Flunder as our locality lead, because he's not somebody who wholeheartedly, to say the least, supports local government reorganisation in the guise which it is. So I am a little bit concerned that he won't quite be as motivated as perhaps we would want our locality lead to be. So I would like those assurances through the chief officer from the district to say that our aspirations, our progressive aspirations, are taken seriously and put forward with the vigour which they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Councillor Bowles, please?
I'm prepared to be shot down by my fellow district councillors on this one, but having chaired the meeting when those locality champions were selected, not locality leads, I was very much under the impression that any of them could take part in any of the areas. It does not necessarily have to be that the Cheadle one does Cheadle, the Leek one does Leek, or Councillor Flunder does Biddle in the area. I can understand why Councillor Flunder is involved, but I would have thought in discussions with locality champions, we as a town could communicate with any of them.
Mr. Mayor, if we can just
reply to that.
It's the very point I did raise when we were talking about this. I was quite surprised that he's effectively taken Biddle as his own, and I don't believe that is the case, because each three of them were picked because they come at things with three different angles. They've got quite a large scope between them, and a team is always better than an individual. Correct. As well.
Okay, so if I can just be clear then, so I'll amend the line that said we've already engaged with our locality champions and remove a specific reference to an individual. We'll talk about the integration of health and social care, and we'll send a copy of this to the county council as well.
So,
Okay, it doesn't, sent by email doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's a draft.
It's sent by email.
It says draft across the middle.
I've done one email. Oh, for us.
yeah, another point.
So yes, I meant to say after Councillor, was it Councillor Jones who mentioned the county council? Yeah, I think that is essential. Councillor Wood and I sit on the board of Biddle Youth Community Zone. Of course, their building is actually on a peppercorn lease from the county council, not from the district. So I think it's important that we're aware that it's not all the assets belong to the district. And so we do need to make sure that the county have the evidence as well.
Thank you. So with those, Councillor Garvey.
He's proposed, I think.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, actually, I think recognising the points that several other councils have made, I think it's worth making the point that we are, as part of the local government reorganisation working group, we are conscious that local government reorganisation includes both the districts and the county. Those are the two pieces that are actually affected. It is just that it's only the district that have actually reached out to us to make any contact, to show any degree of engagement with their towns and parishes. But I still fully support the fact that the county do need to be involved. We are aware of that, and that's simply an omission from this, that we are engaging with. We will try to engage with the county if they want to engage with us.
Thank you.
Can I second with the amendments that Sarah's made, please?
So have we got a proposer?
You've got Councillor Garvey.
Councillor proposer, second, Councillor Smith. So,
I'm happy for the amendments that have been put forward, second.
yes. So it's,
Do we have a vote, please?
no, we'll have a vote, please. Those in favour of the communications have said.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone against or any abstention? No. Now we turn to number 54. To confirm the outcome, it's only one line, but it says such a lot. To confirm the outcome of the Cemetery of the Year Awards 2025. Chief Officer.
Thank you. So I have sent you all an email with our love. But I did think it was nice to have it properly minuted and for those viewers on YouTube as well. So just because we thought we'd never done it before and we wondered where we would fit within the kind of other town and parish council cemeteries and you know, to create a to-do list for ourselves. We entered the Cemetery of the Year, and I'm very pleased to tell you that we were given Best New Entry, which of course you can only receive once. So that's a good result. And we have a silver award, which we are very proud of. There was some fabulous competition. Obviously now we're going to work really hard to get gold, and the Recreation and Amenities Committee is going to have a very comprehensive action plan over the next 12 months. But my thanks to the team and to particularly Recreation and Amenities Committee for their scrutiny of multiple policies and processes, and for all your hard work as regards the kind of maintenance and partnerships that make our cemeteries what they are. Should be very proud. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Garvey.
Mr. Mayor, I should like to be the first one I've been outspoken today at this meeting so far to congratulate the Chief Officer and an excellent staff on the work that's been involved in doing this. You have to take into account this is not just about how pretty our cemetery is, but about the policies and the procedures and the processes that underlie the whole of our cemetery-based activities within the town. And therefore, it's quite a major body of work that's been put together. And I think it's an excellent testament to the work of all our officers, Chief Officer and all her team. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Councillor Garvey. Councillor Song, please.
Echo Councillor Garvey, can we formally put that as a vote of thanks to Chief Officer and the team? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Councillor Jackson, did you?
Just going through my mind as we're sitting here, with our links with Biddlefin Bloom and on all the work we do there, strap line that covers the two of Biddle knows how to plant and go along about.
I missed something.
Yeah.
Good second time around.
That's
fine.
Which I like those.
Just leave it.
And we're moving.
Yeah.
So, Councillor Jones, please.
Yeah, thank you. I knew Councillor Jackson would crack some sort of joke. Yeah. I was hoping to beat him to it, actually. I just want to say, well done. I've already said it in an email, Sarah, as you know. Well, very well done to I think it's dead good. And are we going to have an entry on TripAdvisor?
Yeah.
It's one of them nights, obviously.
That's the right, yes.
Yeah, it's,
Not you, Wayne.
oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. One actually, I don't know, to be quite honest. I will ask offline. It's got to be very, very good because get buried down, and the chief officer spotted us. It's a credit to the town. People, when I was over at Stafford a little while ago, one of the people who go to Stafford that's come to a family burial in Biddle a little while ago now. He commented how the burial ground was in Biddle to anywhere else he'd been. And fortunately, I go to a burial Prest a little while ago. You know how beautiful Prest is. Their burial ground was a disgrace, and no doubt about it. It was great.
Oh, that's on tape.
It's true. That's true.
And press flags up.
We won. We won.
We want the silver, yeah.
No, we won the gold
Silver.
for the newcomer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Best new entry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And silver in total.
Yes.
Have we had a customer complaint?
I got no problem.
Oh, for goodness sake, move on.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's why when I was
It's an area, isn't it, where what it goes on there means a lot and matters a lot to a lot of people. And it's nice to know that the management of this is in such capable hands, I feel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
said.
you very much. final agenda item is financial. Item number 55. First of all, section A.
Don't need to go through that, actually, let the people have that.
We've had this to see. I think one exception, that there are no personal emoluments being paid, I don't think. So we would like to vote on that, please, on section A. In approval. Proposal in a second, please. Councillor Garvey, Councillor Smith, propose and second.
Yep.
Thank you. And the vote again, please. We having another go at it. Thank you. Anyone against? Any, well,
Just a comment, I'm really, really pleased to see the items for the library of things on there. Just wanted to make that comment. That's
you.
on B, that's on supplementary. It's on both.
Is it?
Oh.
Okay.
yes. So we now turn to the second part, B, which on the supplementary sheet here. Are there any comment proposer, Councillor Garvey? Seconder, please. Councillor Smith? No comment. So those who favour its acceptance, please. That's. No further. Those against? Those against? And abstentions? One abstent. Thank you. So that's carried. And that completes the business of this council meeting at 7:42, I think.
That's one thing, you take 12, you pick best pictures, your favourite picture on there.
14. 14.
14.